I have recently just wasted a complete hour of my life, and that hour was wasted exploring the world in Shattered Space, the Varun Kai, or whatever you call it. They called this expansion completely like handcrafted, right? Bethesda came out and they were like, yes, no, this planet is like, or at least the area. I didn't expect the full planet because that's not really possible for the game that Starfield is. I expected the exploration at the city of the Varun Kai, the actual city of Draza, or whatever the fuck you call it, and the remaining area around it to be handcrafted. The entire thing to be handcrafted. Bethesda, honestly, for an expansion, you guys can do that for us, right? You can handcraft one plot of land. They didn't do that. Or if they did do that, they have seriously lost their touch with their own exploration and with how they make POIs, points of interests. I have explored so much of this actual like world, and I think I've hit every POI around the entire map except maybe like some of the ones in the middle, like some of the small towns, and it's been extremely disappointing as of late because I expected more. All I could find was like gas extraction sites, crash ships, a few caves, and I found one actually interesting little area, a Varun camp. But do you know what I found the second I got there? I found people, unnamed people, saying, oh, we were attacked by animals, can you help? They literally just shoved, and this is out of like all the areas I found, only one of them had people I could talk to, and all they wanted was to send me on a little fetch quest.
Out of nowhere.
We were attacked by animals. I don't think we can. Thank you.
Talk to the foreman.
I cannot describe how disappointing that this has been because I truly believed that with Starfield in general, understandably, the exploration is going to be very dull because they have so many planets, because everything's procedurally generated, but realistically here, like, this shouldn't be an issue. I don't know why, like, these areas don't have more environmental storytelling. I entered a camp where we had a few civilian bodies and some Varun bodies, and I thought, oh my god, we're gonna get a few notes. Maybe there was clearly like something happening here. Maybe I'll find a gun or something. I found nothing. I found food. And that was about it. You don't find any notes. I've looked around all the areas around the entire map of the Varun city. You found nothing. I have found too many little serpent statues in caves and little like Varun camps. And like I found one rock like formation that was kind of cool. I actually did find one thing that was cool though. Like 5 remnant or whatever they were called. Like I completely forgot what they were called, but they were all 5 legendaries surrounded by Varun soldiers, like just guarding this one area. I thought that was awesome because hell yeah, 5 legendaries. I got 5 swords out of it. I was so mad when I got 5 swords. I don't even use swords. Why do you need to give me 5 of them? Like, I'm not going to be arming my guys with swords. At least, like, it's the new weapon that they introduced, like the new kind of blade, which is cool. But, like, what are they doing? I want to understand what Bethesda was, like, cracked out on when deciding to make the points of interest. They did nothing new. They took previous points of interest, maybe like smoothed them around so the bookshelf goes there, the table goes there, and then shoved it down, spaced it apart 1,000 meters away from each other. It's not even like these points of interest are close. They're all 1,000, 700, 800 meters away from each other. I am unbelievably disappointed with how this went because I truly believed that Bethesda would actually do their fucking job here. They're like the masters of making points of interests and of like environmental storytelling. I don't think any other studio, especially in like Skyrim or in Fallout 4, hell, even Fallout 76, they're masters at that craft. And they have fundamentally failed at a one planet DLC. And this is not a review. I've not finished the DLC yet. I have just been exploring so far and completed a few missions. But they have fundamentally failed at what they set out to do if this is what they wanted us to explore. Like, you give us a whole new planet, I'm expecting a POI every 200 meters. Something cool to find. Some bodies, Varun soldiers everywhere, maybe just spacers. Only one ship landed. It was a Varun ship, like, because I have the perk that makes people come after me, and I had a Varun ship land. I didn't even go bother, because I knew exactly what that was. I've had that actual little encounter hundreds of times because every time you land on a planet there's always a ship that lands with you. It's extremely annoying. There's never any variety to it. Overall, Shattered Space for me has been solid so far, but again, this exploration, it's just what the hell. Like, what were they cracked out on when making this? They made like maybe 2 new points of interest, and honestly, the city itself of like what Sharon or whatever the hell it's called, it's not bad. It's about the same size as maybe like New Atlantis. I'd say it's actually pretty large, but the planet itself is so dull. Like, there's nothing to do on it. Like, you have the side quests and quests, and trust me, I will be talking about it in my review in the future if you so choose to watch that. You know, you can subscribe and do all that awesome stuff. But there's like side quests to do, of course, and they're good. I've done a few of the side quests. They're actually pretty good, and even the main quests I think are actually pretty solid. Like some higher tier Bethesda quest lines. But the exploration, again, I don't know what they're doing, but like it has to be a different team. Like, this isn't the same Bethesda that made Fallout 76. I'd argue the Fallout 70 the Fallout 76 map, and I'm saying this, the Fallout 76 online game that came out has a better map and better exploration, better everything in terms of exploration and just like environmental storytelling than anything in Starfield. It doesn't even come close. They decided to shove it all into procedural generation, making it as big as possible, making a space sim, and they failed at that because the one thing that they showed us that we could do was explore planets, but they made it boring. Like even on the one planet in this DLC doesn't let you go into any other planet, right? It's specifically the Varun Kai planet. You do not go anywhere else, and they didn't even bother to pump it full of interesting points of interests. They didn't even bother, and it's unbelievably disappointing that they didn't because it would have been easy. All you would have to do is make new buildings, literally write down notes. I don't expect new quest lines to find out here. I'm not expecting that. Like, I'm not expecting to go to find some random Varun camp and have this cool little side quest I can find. But like, think of the Nuka World DLC. When you go out super far outside of Nuka World, you can find that I completely forgot the character or the name of the person. But there was a story of a person who couldn't get to play Nuka World or couldn't get to play a game, and Bethesda put him in the game as like this little shelter. He lets you take everything. He's super kind, and they named him after that player who was on the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And honestly, I love that because Bethesda is good for that. Nothing like that is here. There's nothing like that here. How cool would that have been if they did something like that? Honestly, even something small. Put like a developer's name in there. Maybe like someone who's like really important to their team. I don't know. They could have done something cool with that. There is nothing here creative-wise. There is no heart to this world. There's no heart to Starfield in terms of exploration. Fucking Outer Worlds has better exploration and just anything to do with exploring a planet than this game. And Outer Worlds is an indie AA game by Obsidian. Obsidian did exploration well, and their map size was considerably smaller than what Starfield has. And I don't even know how they attempted to even start. I don't understand how that happens. How you release something. And even as a DLC, the main game, understandable, we're far past that discussion. But this DLC should have been the comeback, especially for the exploration part of it. We should have had points of interests everywhere, and they failed at that. And they didn't just fail at it. They did worse than what they did with the main game, because the points of interests are just copies of what we had in the main game. They didn't even try to make anything new. There's maybe 2 new points of interests. I'm not even going to count the Varun camps, because they probably just retook it out of the Spacers camps and renamed it. There is nothing new in terms of points of interests. It is unbelievably disappointing. I can't believe that they would release something as like the storytellers that they are with environmental storytelling, and I'll say it one more time, they are masters at it in my opinion. Every single other game that I've played from them, oh my god, the environmental storytelling is some peak shit, and yet they can't seem to get it here. And it shouldn't be hard. The DLC is based on 1 planet. Not 5, not 10, not 100, it's based on 1. We don't leave the planet during the story. Why? In any inconceivable just situation, is there not more points of interest? Is there not more environmental storytelling? Is there not more random encounters that we can find? There isn't a single random encounter on this fucking planet, and it is so disappointing because I know Bethesda could do better, but it's clearly because this game is more corporate than anything. It is a single-player live service game, and honestly, I'm not surprised that they don't really care about it because, granted, most of the people who played it probably bought it, the pre-orders with like premium editions, right? They're not making new money off this, so they probably pump this out as fast as possible so they can start working on DLC that more people are going to be paying for. I wouldn't be surprised about that. The exploration is a big down in the fucking shitter for me for this DLC, and I will be bringing this up in my review of Shattered Space when I do finish the DLC. I'm unbelievably disappointed with this. It is disgusting that there isn't more points of interest than anything else to find in this game. The city is cool, the environments are cool, and even the world, it looks beautiful. The world visually looks beautiful. They went off. The lighting, oh my god. But inside of the world, outside of that first 1,000 meter span of the city, there's fuck all to do. And you can go, I don't know why they said 50 new points of interests to explore, and I thought actual cool areas we could find. No, it's Starfield. They made an achievement where you have to find 50 locations on this fucking planet, and I'm doing it just because of the achievement. It is boring, and if you don't care, I swear to God, do not waste your time. It is unbelievably disappointing. Bethesda, you have to do better. If the next DLC to this fucking game doesn't fix the exploration issue at its core, you have fundamentally failed. If they put another DLC specifically on one planet and they still can't get it right, I have no hope for fucking Elder Scrolls 6. And the difference with Elder Scrolls 6 is that I swear to God, if they use procedural generation in some form, don't do that shit. They shouldn't have done it here. Starfield was doomed before it was even fucking, like, properly released. When they said procedural generation, and Todd Howard was there saying, look, we're going to do procedural generation and just dump shitty POIs all over the map, and players will love it, and they'll explore, and they'll be able to find new shit. But the points of interests are boring, the planets are too large, and I don't want to go 1,000 meters in between. And I want to get this right. I used the REV8 to go in between all these points of interests. Imagine walking, because I guarantee the REV8 was not planned by the time the Shattered Space was still being developed. Imagine walking to all of these points. They were all 1,000 meters away from each other. Even if you spam amp and the personal, like, bubble, so you have unlimited stamina, that would take hours. I would have a 3-hour recording right now. It's so stupid that they can't get this right. And I'm so mad about it. But thank you all for watching this video. If you did enjoy my rant, honestly, I would love to do more on Starfield. I want to say I enjoy this game. I do. But it's hard for me to enjoy it when Bethesda keeps pulling shit like this. Thank you for watching again. If you did enjoy, like, share, comment, subscribe. Consider becoming a member as well if you so choose to. Thank you for watching again. I think I've thanked you guys like 3 times. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.